Hello, folks. So today I'm going to be tying. It's another traditional fly. This one's from Scotland. It's size 12 Kate McLaren. I would normally be tying these in 10s, 12s, and 14s, but I'll tie it on the 12 today just for the video. It's a bit bigger. So you want to get your hook in the vise. This is the Filling Mills FM 1530. We're going to use black thread. This is just 8/0 in black. It's just Semperfli's classic waxed. I always add a bit of extra wax to it. I like plenty of grip. So we're going to run a nice smooth base of thread down the hook shank. Stops any material slipping. And just in front of the barb, we're going to cut that waist end off. So the tail on this fly is going to be golden pheasant crest. And just going to take a feather off. Hold the tip of it in your finger. And offer it up to the top of the hook. Now you want your tail on this wee fly just about the length of the hook. When you're tying these golden pheasant crests in, they can sometimes twist on you. But if you try and encourage the twist to go into the waist ends, you end up with a far nicer tail. So set that up on top. We're going to come underneath with a turn. That's just going to help keep the tail up, especially on the smaller flies. And we're going to trim these waist ends the length of the body. So the rib on the fly is going to be 0.2mm silver wire. And just going to catch that in on the underside of the hook. So just hold it in place and then slide it to where you want. And then we're going to work up the body and tie these butt ends in. But every now and again you'll need to touch the materials to get them back in shape. Now we're going to run the thread back down. With a dubbed body, it doesn't really matter too much if there's lumps and bumps, but it's nice to keep them out of it. So a bit of wax in the thread to help the dubbing stick. And this is Kindale Seals for Sub in black. We'll dub it onto the thread. And once we get it started, we can tighten up on it. And again, if you put the dubbing on very, very tight as you can get it, it's gonna go on far nicer for you. And then if you want it to be a bit more scruffy, just brush it out. So we'll come up, back down through it. And then back up again. So the hackle on the body of this fly is going to be a black cock hackle. I'm just going to catch that on my side of the hook. 2 or 3 turns and fold the stalk back. Catch that in again. And then we'll cut this wee piece of stalk out. And you'll grab yourself some hackle pliers. You're going to want to do 2 or 3 turns at the shoulder of the fly here. And the cock hackles are a lot stiffer than the hen. And that's what you want for this wee fly. So this wee fly got its name from William Robertson, and I think that was his name. Yeah, William Robertson. And he named this fly after his wife, Kate. This is one of them wee flies. There's a million variations on it. I have wee one to tie, and it's in claret, and it's a very productive wee fly. And another one where I mix in some UV into the body. So you want 4 turns of the rib up the body, and then we're just going to catch that in with some thread and hold the thread tight, and you can break and bend this away. So the next hackle is going to be a hen hackle. And you want this, don't be shy with a hen hackle, you want it good and long. So just find the feather I want. See if this one's long enough. We're going to be tying this in by the tip. Yeah, it's plenty long. So you want to expose the tip. And again, tie that on my side of the hook. 2 turns, fold the tip back. A couple of turns to lock it in. If you slide your fingers back, the tip will come out. Just break it away. With this hand hackle, you want to try and sweep it back with each turn. Now, I don't normally like winding hackles with these pliers, just because I feel like I have more control and I can manipulate the feather better with my fingers. But if I use my fingers, you won't see what I'm doing. So with every turn, I'm just sweeping it back. Now, I like quite a lot of hackle on these. Now, these don't just represent one thing in the water. They sort of just represent a lot of wee things. And one thing I do know them represent is a floating snail very well. So you would fish this on your top dropper. Wee fibre in there. Just going to sweep everything back with my finger and thumb. Just catch it in and build up a very small wee head. If you hold your thread tight, you should be able to break that off. And then we're going to come in with our whip finish. I only recently got this wee whip finish tool and I'm enjoying it. It's a wee Temco midge whip finisher. It's a good wee job. I normally put 2 whip finishes on and try to work from the back to the front. I was told that's stronger. And then we're going to come in and snip this thread away. I've seen boys breaking that off instead of snipping it, but to me that would be pointless. You could pull your knot out. So before we come in with the varnish, just check everything's the way you want it. And I'm just going to brush out some of the dubbing on the body. This is just Velcro on a lollipop stick. And you can really go at your flies with this. There's a saying, rough flies for fish's eyes. And then I'm going to come in with UV resin. And you don't want much on your needle because the hackles will pull that into them and you'll end up with all over your hackles. So just split the eye of the hook up into 4. Do the top, bottom on each side. Check your eye. And then we can set it with a torch. That's the wee fly finished. That's the Kate McLaren. Just you can mess about with it in your fingers and get it sitting the way you want. But once you start fishing it, it'll come into its own then. Like that's the wee fly finished there.